Paul Valencia here. I'm in the happiest place on earth, Disneyland. That castle is world famous. On the other side of the castle is Fantasyland, and that's a good place for this story here. Todd Spike, an assistant basketball coach at Union High School, has a story about a sandwich and how the sandwich almost ruined a family vacation, and then the sandwich saved the day. We'll let Todd tell the story, but today I'm going to have a taste of that sandwich, the Monte Cristo.
My name's Todd Spike. I'm an assistant basketball coach at Union High School, and I have a unique story to tell about the Monte Cristo sandwich and how it saved my trip to Disneyland one day. And the legend continues. First off, you have to understand, my wife is a huge Disneyland fanatic. And I mean no harm to her. She is amazing. I love her to death. But I just have to kind of set the tone with this story because my wife has a big piece to the story. The way my wife operates with Disneyland is you are there when the doors open at 6 in the morning, and you do not leave until you are basically ushered out. And we were coming down to the last hour at Disneyland. A good friend of mine who also worked with here at Union High School, Jamal McKenzie, who grew up in San Diego and has a lot of Disneyland experience. Before I left, he said, "Spike, have you ever had the Monte Cristo sandwich?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And if you know a little about me, I like my food. You can maybe even call me a food connoisseur. I don't know. Anyhow, he said, "Well, you have to get the Monte Cristo sandwich. You do not leave Disneyland without ordering and eating the Monte Cristo sandwich." And I said, "Mom, great take. Absolutely, I will do that." In the course of 4 days, I've lost sight of that promise I gave Jamal. In our last hour, we get a call. We were actually in California Adventure, and we were heading back to Fantasyland for our last little phase of Disneyland. My wife had things planned out, the Dumbo ride and the Peter Pan ride and Toad's favorite adventure, right? So that was the next phase of our end of the trip. And Maul called me and he goes, "Spike, have you got the Monte Cristo sandwich?" And I'm like, "Maul, no, I totally forgot about that. Thanks for the crisis, Spike. You are not coming. You do not get on that plane without eating the Monte Cristo sandwich." I said, "You're right. This could be an issue, but I'm gonna get the Monte Cristo sandwich." We're walking to Fantasyland, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna tell this to my wife that I'm gonna have to break off of the last little phase here to get this Monte Cristo sandwich, because I promised Maul that I was gonna do that and enjoy this opportunity to have the Monte Cristo sandwich. So I got up the courage, because I knew my wife was not gonna take this very well. We were getting closer, we're kind of in the middle between California Adventure and Disneyland, and I said, "Honey, I'm gonna go get a Monte Cristo sandwich, and I'll meet you at Fantasyland." And of course, she said, "No, you're not. We don't have time for that. We already ate. You're not gonna get the Monte Cristo sandwich." And I said, "Honey, I do really want to get this sandwich, and it just won't be that long, and I'll meet you up. You guys, you know, I might miss a ride, but I will be there, and we'll finish this off." And she said, "I can't believe you are actually thinking about leaving our last, now down to 45 minutes of Disneyland with your children to go get a sandwich." And I said, "Yeah, when you put it like that, I can kind of see where you're coming from, but you also got to understand that this is something that I made a commitment and a promise, and I got to follow through with it." And she goes, "Well, no, it's not a good idea. Don't do it." And I was in a kind of a crossroad, and I had to make a decision, and I said, "Honey, I'll be right back." And if the looks, let's just say there was a lot of heat coming out of my wonderful wife, and I branched off, which is very uncharacteristic of me, but I did it. And I think her parting words were, "I can't believe you're doing this." And I just raised my hand. I said, I know. So then I'm putting a lot of stock in the sandwich at this point, and I'm like, "Maul, this is not good, but this better be a very good sandwich, because I'm in hot water now." So anyway, I get to the place where I order the sandwich, and of course you have to, there's no to-go orders. And I'm like, this is not okay. So I talked to the server, and I said, "Is there any way you can make an exception this one time? I put myself in a bad spot, the last phase of the trip, and I really need to order the sandwich." And she said, I'll ask my manager." Good news, they came back, said, "Yes, we could do this for you, but understand you're catching a very big break here." So call that Disneyland magic. And to this day, you now have to have a reservation. So if you're trying to think you could do this, what I just did, I don't want to set you up for failure, because you're going to be told no. okay? But anyway, so I'm waiting for the sandwich. And as you're in a hurry, it just feels like it takes forever. And I'm just watching the clock, what we're down to for the last phase of our trip with my family, and I'm waiting on a sandwich, and there's a lot of silence on the end with my wife. So I finally said, hey, it feels like I've been waiting here a little bit longer than normal. I hear this is a really good sandwich. I don't know, is there any way we kind of speed this process up? Because my wife's not very happy with me, and the sooner the better. And soon right after I said that, the Monte Cristo sandwich came out in a white box, and I was in a lot better spot now. So before I went and ran to catch up with the family, I had to take a moment and take a bite of the mighty Monte Cristo. And I took a bite, and it was just heaven in your mouth. It was absolutely incredible. Best tasting sandwich I've ever had. And I've had a lot of sandwiches. So I'm saying this is great. This is gonna save the trip right here. This is gonna save the trip, and everything's gonna be fine. Okay, but so I'm putting a lot of stock in the sandwich at this point, and Jamal McKenzie was right. So I'm running to Fantasyland, and they are waiting for me in the Dumbo area, and I get there, and my wife, as I'm getting closer and closer, her head is just shaking at me, just shaking. I'm in the doghouse. And I said, I got the sandwich, and what's next? What are we doing? And she said, I can't remember what she said, but I said, honey, before we do anything, you have to have a bite of the sandwich. I'm not moving, I'm not going anywhere without you at least having a bite of the sandwich. And when you have a bite of the sandwich, if this is not the greatest sandwich you've ever had in your life, then you cannot be upset, and we could pretend this never happened, and we continued our happiest vacation on earth. If you do not like the sandwich, then you can be mad. You can be mad, and I'll eventually, hopefully someday, work myself out of the situation I created. But you have to at least try this, and let's be honest with it. If you like it, we're good. If you don't like it, I reap what I sow. So, out of spite, you could tell my wife did not want to have a bite of the sandwich. Like, she was not going to give it a chance. She basically just said, just give me a bite. Just here, fine. And she took a bite of the Cristo. And her first words out of her mouth was, first she was shaking her head like, she took a bite, and she took a couple chews, and all of a sudden she was like, oh wow. Oh wow. This is really, really good. You got lucky, and you just got saved by the mighty Monte Cristo sandwich. So that is how the legend of the Monte Cristo sandwich has came about within our program. We talked this over with our players when we go to our Disneyland trips, when we go to San Diego. I generally tell the story, and all our guys, majority of the guys, set the reservations, which is not easy to do, and they also hear the story, and then I got to get a report back, and everyone so far has said that is one of the best sandwiches, if not the best they've ever had. And when you actually do some research, it is actually world-renowned Monte Cristo sandwich. So, Paulie V, Paul Valencia, I just hope this does you justice. I know I kind of crack it up to be a lot, but I'm telling you what, I really think I have faith that you're gonna love this sandwich.
Hey, we made it to the Blue Bayou restaurant, the most famous restaurant in Disneyland, and I'm about ready to have the greatest sandwich of all time. Hey, I just got out of the Blue Bayou. It's too dark in there to take photos or video of the greatest sandwich of all time, but this is a really, really good tasty sandwich. This is original, a little bit of powdered sugar on it. I tell you, dip it into the jam that they give you. The jam makes it heavenly.